Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another episode of ReaperCast. It's been a while since I last did a ReaperCast video, and I figure it's going to be fun to do one right now because new cards have been announced for Burst of Destiny, which is one of the sets that has actually been announced to come after Dawn of Majesty, so it's going to be quite exciting but still quite far away from now. So with that being said, let's just find out what these cards are, and it would be exciting to see if any of them could be incorporated into some sort of mad combos, and that would be quite fun to actually look forward to a particular set that way. However, with that being said, today I wanted to talk about some Reptillian cards that have actually been quite the interesting thing to talk about here. A lot of people have actually been already rumoring, I guess, about what this could potentially do for Yugioh addicts, and Yugioh addicts recently came out in Ancient Guardians, so to see that it's already getting some kind of, I guess, indirect support from the Reptilians is definitely something that I find to be quite exciting. So let's just see what this actually can offer. The first card we have here is called Reptillian Mini, a level 2 Dark Reptile effect monster with 200 attack and 0 defense, and the effects: you can use only one effect among the first and second effects with this card's name per turn, and only once that turn. So first effect, during the main phase, if you have a reptile monster in your graveyard, as a quick effect you could send this card from your hand to the graveyard, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls, change it to 0 attack, which is definitely very nice because if it can act similarly to Honest, of course it's weaker because this is only allowed to be activated during the main phase, it still definitely does give a form of, I guess, weakening your opponent's monsters to allow you to kind of go for your own OTKs of some sort. However, as for the second effect, if your opponent controls a monster of 0 attack, you can special summon this card from your hand. Definitely a really nifty effect there, pretty much just the main card to go out for some extensions. It's also a dark monster, so you could link into some pretty interesting link monsters out there as well, Witch being one of them of course. But with that being said, let's move on to the next card here. This is called Reptilian Kotol. This, I really love the artwork, by the way. It looks fantastic. I can't get enough of it, but it's a level 4 Dark Reptile Tuner effect monster with 1400 attack and 1000 defense. You can only use the first effect of this card's name only once per turn. So first effect, if you control a Dark Reptile monster, you could special summon this card from your hand. Then you could special summon one Reptilian monster from your hand up to the number of monsters with 0 attack your opponent controls. I like that. It kind of links up to the previous card as well, and as you see here, it is Dark Reptile, so it can be implemented into an Yugioh addict deck as well. Being that it's also a Reptile Tuner monster also makes things quite fun, because a Tuner monster could potentially add for a synchro variation to the Yugioh addict deck if you actually wanted to go for that option. However, moving on here, we have our first synchro card. I am loving this artwork. It's exceptional. It's a really stunning artwork, way better than the previous one, which I was already falling for, but this one here is definitely fantastic, and it's so tempting because I know Reptilians are really difficult to actually obtain, but seeing this is just stunning. I mean, I really want a card just like this, just to actually play it in a deck of some sort. It looks really good here. But it's called Reptillian Melusine, a level 8 Dark Reptile Synchro effect monster of 2500 attack and 2800 defense. It requires one Reptile Tuner and 1+ non-tuner monsters. So this card could potentially be used in maybe Yugioh addicts in some sort as well. So if you actually splash in Yugioh addicts into your deck and somehow incorporate a tuner of some sort, a reptile tuner that is, you could easily go into this card without any issue. You can only use the second effect of this card's name only once per chain, so very interesting wording there. First effect, if this card was synchro summoned using only reptile monsters as material, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Very powerful, already loving this, because if you're using this in a Reptilian deck or even an Yugioh addict deck, everything's already really good for the first effect. Second effect, when your opponent activates a monster effect as a quick effect, you can target one face-up monster they control, change its attack to 0, which again, very nice, just weakening your opponent's monsters. And I love that it's not actually a once per turn or end of the turn thing where it goes back to normal, it's permanently reducing their monster's attack to 0. Third effect, if this synchro summon card you control is sent to your graveyard by an opponent's card, well, it could either be by battle or card effect, you could add one reptile monster from your deck to your hand. So again, great recovery there, fantastic, but honestly, I'm just really fixated on this artwork. It's just something else. It's really, really, really amazing. I can't get enough of it. However, we do move on to some support in the form of spell cards. So firstly, we have our normal spell, Reptillian Lamification. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Send one card from your hand to the graveyard, then choose 2 of these effects. You cannot choose the same effect twice, and you resolve them in the listed order, skipping the one not chosen. So the first option is add one Reptilian monster from your deck to your hand. The second option is add one Reptilian spell trap from your deck to your hand, except this card. And the third option is change the attack of one face-up monster your opponent controls to 0. I like that this is really straightforward as well. The whole gimmick behind this deck is really just reducing your opponent's monsters, allowing you to go for your attacks and pretty much just OTK them really easily. It's as if your opponent has monsters, or rather it's as if the opponent has no monsters at all and you're just attacking into them openly there. So it's definitely fantastic. I love the way that they're actually turning this archetype to be what it is, and I love that this kind of support also allows you to add cards as well, so definitely fantastic. As for the final card, we have here a field spell, Reptilian Recoil. You can only use each effect among the first and second effects with this card's name only once per turn. So, first effect, you can target one monster you control with 0 attack and one dark reptile monster in your graveyard, destroy that first monster on the field, and if you do, special summon that second monster in your graveyard. Nice recovery, nice manipulation of the board and your resources. I really like that, and this is also a field spell, so it's going to be staying around. Second effect, if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can target one face-up monster they control with 0 attack, which is very easy of course. Take control of that monster, then special summon one Reptilian token, a Reptile Earth level 1 attack 0 defense 0 to your opponent's field. Very nice of course, because you put it in attack mode, you're leaving out a vulnerable place or monster of some sort for you to attack directly into and dealing huge damage to your opponent potentially in that case. So definitely really loving this particular archetype and how it's turning out. Like I said before, it is an old archetype, so it'd be hard to actually obtaining all of the older cards, but with this new support, it's really shaping the archetype into something that I actually might be quite interested in actually building, mainly for the artwork, but the effects itself, the playstyle is also not too bad itself. It's generic enough that you could have a lot of fun by adding in lots of different cards like the Ogdoadics to give it a bit of flexibility, variation, variety. Very amazing there, but it really is the artwork that is drawing me in. Reptillian Melusine and Reptilian Kotol are both really amazing cards. They just have absolutely amazing artwork. It's just so divine. I don't know, I could stare at them all day and it's just really amazing. But I really quickly wanted to also talk about 2 other cards here as well, because I figure even though it came out just a little prior to these cards here, I figure they might be worth talking about as well. So we have here Sunvine Sowing, a normal spell card, and you can only activate a card with this card's name once per turn. First effect, special summon one Sunseed monster from your deck, and if you do, take 1000 damage. If you do not control a Sun Avalon Link monster, you can only special summon Sunseed genus Loci with this effect. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck except plant monsters. A really great extension there for the actual Sun Avalon deck, so not bad whatsoever. However, as for the second effect, if a plant monster you control would be destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. Fantastic, loving it there, and you could pretty much just activate both effects on the same turn if necessary. And finally, the last card we have to talk for today is also coming out in Burst of Destiny. This is called New Starry Night, Starry Night or BTAL, a light fairy level 4 monster with 400 attack and 2100 defense, and the first and second effects can only be used once per turn. First effect, as a quick effect, you could target one light monster you control, tribute it, and if you do, set one Starry Night spell trap from your deck to your field. Second effect, if a face-up level 7 light monster, dragon monster that is, you control is returned to your hand, while this card is in your graveyard, you could special summon this card from your graveyard. Not bad at all. I do like that there is a bit of genericism in the second effect, but the first effect is still definitely very specific there, though it could be generic in a sense where you might be able to use the Starry Night spell traps in other decks as a sort of a Starry Night engine, so not too bad whatsoever. But with that being said, Starry Nights weren't really that archetype that drew me in. It's something that I know for a fact I won't be building a deck out of. It's just not really drawing me in, and given that it's coming out in a heavily short printed set, Ghosts from the Past, it's really just not worth it. However, that was pretty much it for today's video, so definitely let me know what your thoughts are. I'm still just obsessed with the Reptilian cards. Really amazing artwork. I've just never seen something so captivating, to be honest. It's so infatuating to actually just stare at, and yeah, I don't know, I mean, are you guys actually getting this same effect as well? But with that being said, if you like this video, definitely drop a like, share, comment and subscribe. It really does help, and don't forget to hit the bell notification as well. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you all next time.